So it's about 38 points. There's going to be a part in your quiz where I'm going to give you some triangles, mark them myself, and I want to know why they're congruent. If they are, write the reason. If not, you got to write not possible. That might be an option. All right, so if you want to know what I'm talking about, sorry. If you guys go back to pages 12 and 13 in your packet, you'll see 9 questions of what I'm talking about there. Okay, 9 questions. I'll give you 2 triangles. I'll mark them up and basically say, are they congruent? If they are, write the reason, and not possible might be a reason for those. And then the rest you can read on your own. 2 proofs at the end. 2 proofs, proving triangles congruent. And if anybody's nervous about a review question from Unit 3, all I'm talking about there is there might be some parallel lines involved. We just did 2 proofs involving parallel lines. That's what I mean from a review question from Unit 3. You might have a couple diagrams that have parallel lines on them. So there you go. And yep, I'll be here after school, ready to go. Got some review problems already stashed away. Because we're not reviewing today. We're moving on. We are not going to review today. We're going to keep trucking on. Anything more specific you need for those? Anything more specific we got to talk about? Days 1 through yesterday, which is what, day 5? 5, yeah. So days 1 through 5. What we do today, not on that. Questions? Anything you want me to go in more detail? All right, this is it. Other than homeworks next week, this is it. Your test isn't until quarter 2. Oh yeah, never mind. This is not it because you got your quarter 1 cumulative, right? Next Wednesday. All right, so you got another opportunity. All right, so if there's no questions, I'm going to keep trucking. You guys are going to be doing a lot of proofs on your own today because I got to make sure we're good to go for tomorrow. All right, here's today's deal. What happens after you prove triangles congruent? Everyone's proof has stopped at triangles being congruent for whatever reason. And then now we're going to take it one step further today. What happens after the triangles are congruent? All right, problem number 1 here. I'm giving you 2 triangles are congruent, WIS and EUP. They're congruent to each other. You don't need a diagram. I just need to give you that statement. You do not need a diagram. I'm going to call on 6 people right now. Tell me what else you know now. What other parts have to be equal, just based on that statement right there. WIS is congruent to EUP. If the triangles are congruent, all the sides and angles that match up are congruent. So here we go. I'm going to be looking for 6 sides and angles that should be congruent just based on that statement. You do not need a diagram. Let's start this off. If the triangles are congruent, 23, what pair now are congruent?
W and E.
What are they? Sides, angles? You just gave me one letter.
Side.
Can you name a side with one letter?
Oh wait, W-I-U.
W-I and?
EU.
What are those, sides or angles?
Side.
Sides. Side WI is congruent to side EU. Because the triangles are congruent. Okay, give me another, here we go, another pair. 17, another pair.
Line, IS is congruent to line.
IS, congruent to side UP. There we go. More parts that are equal. 18, what other parts in this triangle are equal?
Side SW is congruent to PE.
Yep, those sides are equal. All right, I guess the sides, you've given me all 3 sides now, so you got to go somewhere else. Next person here. We already got that. I want to hear from other people. 23, we already heard from, right, Lucy? 15, what other parts are equal? Yep. W and E are equal. Angle W and angle E are equal. More? 11, what else is equal? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. How about a 2 spot? What else is equal here? Angle P and angle S. And I'll take the last one because process of elimination, right? Angle I congruent to angle U. All right. So that's what you're going to do today. Prove the parts are equal now. Okay, prove the parts. So let's take a look at the first proof here. Please don't write anything. Just let me talk, and then I'm just going to let you go on your own. Because again, we need practice. Notice what I'm asking you to prove. This is the first time I'm asking you to prove a pair of angles. Usually it's triangles. But answer this question. These angles will not be congruent until I prove what congruent? The angles are not congruent unless what are congruent first? The what? The triangles. So that's what we need to do. If you want to prove these angles congruent, you got to prove these triangles congruent. Get to that point in your proof right now. Here you go. We're practicing for tomorrow. Get the triangles congruent. This is basically, you know where you stand right now going into tomorrow. Get the triangles congruent so I can get those angles equal. I'll help you on the last step. Just get the triangles congruent for me. Can you do it? Okay, I'm moving on. Tell me how you got them congruent. Name a part first. What else do you know are congruent up here? Here we go. 12. What else is congruent up here?
I said AD is equal to DB.
8. Yep, go ahead. AD congruent to DB. Definition of a midpoint. Good work. All right, so far I gave you a pair of sides in the givens. Luke just gave me another pair of sides. Good work. All right, still looking for another pair of something here. They're not congruent just yet. What else do you have up here for me? 22?
CD equals CD because it's
There you go. There's the other part. CD, congruent to itself. CD, reflexive. Looks like I have enough information to prove the triangle's congruent. Okay, now I don't know if anybody noticed, but you guys are just so in the habit of looking at the proof statement and writing down just copying it. But now you got to make up your own, don't you? Being the triangle's congruent. And when you do, please remember the sides and angles have to match up. You just can't name it any way you want. The first triangle, sure. I go ACD. I got to make sure all the A matches up with whatever angle it's congruent with. I got to make sure D matches up with whatever angle it's congruent with. So I got to go ACD and BCD by what method here? Shoot. Regroup. Boom. What method? 3. What method? Side, side, side. So we got them congruent by side, side, side. So now, great. Now the triangles are congruent. Any pair of angles and sides are congruent, including angle ACD congruent to angle BCD, our proof statement. But you got to get the triangles congruent first. And here comes your new reason. Here's the new part of today. After the triangles are congruent, why are angles and sides equal now? Ready? Because they are corresponding parts. That's what they are. They're corresponding parts. They match up in what type of triangles? Congruent. Corresponding parts in congruent triangles are what? Congruent. Corresponding parts in congruent triangles are congruent. Now that's a mouthful to say. It might be a little bit too much to remember, and I get it. So I'm going to allow you guys to use the classic abbreviation. Just not me. This is all geometry too. Here's the abbreviation, the famous one. Use at your own risk. C, corresponding parts in congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. Let it roll off the tongue a couple times. CPCTC. That's to prove angles or sides congruent after proving the triangles. I don't care that you use it, but will I take off if the order's incorrect? Yes. So if you want to use it, make sure the orders of the letters are correct. CPCTC. Welcome to CPCTC. Is that a way to prove triangles congruent? No, it's not one of our methods. It's after you prove them congruent that you can say the angles are the sides. All right, let's keep trucking here. One doesn't make you great. All right, stop. I'm going to let you go in a second. Look at what I'm asking you to prove. Side SQ and side PR are equal. I'll ask this every time. They're not equal until what are equal? The triangles. Go. Get the triangles first, and then those sides will be equal. Let's see what you can do. The triangles are congruent, then everything else will be. What do you got for me? How do we prove these triangles congruent? Because you guys noticed in the Gibbons, I gave you 2 pairs of angles. So hopefully somebody has a side to give me to finish this off, because that's the only thing I can use. 17 got a side for me I could use. PS congruent to itself, reflexive. All right, great, great. All right, actually, let me do a different color there. Okay, there's a side. Okay, now you guys have to determine, is this going to be angle, side, angle? Is the side in between? If it's not, it will be angle, angle, side. Triangle, RPS, congruent to triangle. Let's see if I go RPS. Where do I got to go? QSP. Is the side in between or not? Now look, when you ask yourself that question, you cannot look at both triangles. Remember we talked about yesterday. You have to look at just one triangle only and ask yourself, is the side in between or not? So what method is it going to be here? Angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side? 19? Thank you. Angle, angle, side. That reflexive side, take a look, is not in between those two. You have to look at one triangle only. One. Everyone good? One triangle only. All right. Now if the triangles are congruent, so are the sides. SQ, PR, CPCTC. Questions? All right. These last 2 weren't bad. How many triangles are in this diagram? How about in this diagram? How many triangles were there? 2, right? Okay, what happens if there's multiple triangles? How do you figure out which ones you need to prove congruent? All right, so let's talk about that to finish up class today. Okay, now I got a couple triangles in here. So which one? Let's just talk first and then I'll let you go. So when I have a diagram with multiple triangles, how do I figure out which 2 to prove congruent? Look at this. Look what I'm asking. Ready? Everyone find angle ABI. Where's angle ABI? Find it. ABI is right here. Find angle ACI, what I need to get it congruent to. ACI, boom, right here. Everyone see the 2 now I need. So find the angles or the sides first, see what triangles they belong to, and then you got your pair. Can you get them congruent now? Go ahead. This might be the tougher one of the 3 you've done. Can you get those 2 triangles congruent? How do we get them congruent? Name something here. Name a pair of angles or sides you know are equal. And let me know why. 15. Name a pair of angles or sides. Good job. That's a pair of sides. I also gave you another pair of sides in the given, so I need one more pair of something here. Where's that other pair of something? Come on now. Come on, we should know our vocab. Unit 4. Romeo, what else should I know?
BAI equals CAI. Triangle.
BAI congruent to CAI, because you know what?
The definition of bisect.
Yes, thank you. And that gives me a pair of angles. Come on. Different color. There we go. Good. Definition of bisector. I was a little nervous about that with a few of you. You know, right? I don't think I'm being not being too tough here. We don't know what bisects means at this point. Come on. All right. And then from here, method 17, method the triangles are congruent. Side angle side. Just make sure again you put them in the correct order. ABI congruent to triangle ACI. And then you could tell me the angles are equal, right? Angle ABI congruent to angle ACI. CPCTC, everybody. Anything from you guys? Again, CPCTC should not come up on your quiz tomorrow. Never write that down on your quiz. It's not covered until the test. All right, you guys know the deal. Let's roll. You got 4 proofs to do right now. Let's try them out. Call me over if you have any questions. Figure out what 2 triangles you need to prove congruent first. Figure that out first.